Hello, my name's Bev and I'm the author of the book Please Eat, A Mother's Struggle to Free Her Teenage Son from Anorexia, which describes our family's battle with the deadly eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, which my teenage son Ben developed back in 2009 when he was just 15 years old. In this next post from the 13th of December 2011, I'm still writing about the university problem, wondering whether Ben was ready for university or not, because this was his A-level year, and university, if he went, would begin in September of 2012. So obviously at the end of 2011 we were busy thinking about university, and also because Ben had missed so much of his schooling because of the eating disorder and hadn't done that well in his AS level exams in the lower sixth form earlier in the year, he was having to resit them. So this post is called 5 Resits in January. Last summer, the tail end of the eating disorder helped Ben to flunk his AS level exams. As a result, he has no less than 5 resits in January, and he needs to get good grades in order to get the grades he needs in this summer's all-important A-level exams. So basically, if he doesn't do very well, then he can kiss goodbye to his university choices. No pressure, then. The good news is that the 10 months or so of insomnia seem to be at an end. Ben sleeps relatively well these days, and the insomnia was particularly bad during the AS exam weeks last summer, and was almost certainly responsible for the poor results. Doing public exams when you've had 0 sleep night upon night upon night is no joke. But Ben still wants to go away to university, so we're not applying for the scheme that I mentioned last time. There's no point, but we will be sending in some evidence to the admissions team supporting his mitigating circumstances, i.e. a letter from the CAMS team and another from the school staff. 2 years ago, Ben was already absent from school more times than he was present, and when he was present, he was unable to function. He'd be hiding somewhere, throwing a wobbly, or going to pieces in the medical centre, and of course he had virtually 0 nutrition fueling his body and mind. After a very rocky start back at school in January 2010, we decided to remove him for the duration. He simply couldn't be in school. Over the next couple of terms, he studied for and sat his GCSE exams separate from everyone else. Studying was done at home, work was sent home by staff, or I'd arranged to pick it up from school. Exams were sat in a private room away from the other students. During this time he was falling down the rabbit hole at a rate of knots, leading to the height of the anorexia over the summer of 2010. And you will know very well that it's not simply a case of not being in school and everything is okay. Far from it. It was as if the devil himself had taken over my wonderful son, driving him to self-destruction. But I don't need to go into detail about this here. He attempted to return to school in the September, now in the lower sixth form. This was when the insomnia kicked in big style, and again he was away from school more times than he was present. In October 2010 he turned a corner and things improved in that he was able to go to school most mornings. Not all mornings, but most. In the spring of 2011, I introduced our recovery contract, which awarded him points for A. managing a part morning at school, B. a full morning, and C. a full day. Full days didn't happen at that point, but by the start of the upper sixth form in September, he was managing to go all mornings and often all day on Fridays too. This is still the situation, and I don't see it changing really. As a result, he has missed a massive amount of schooling over the last 2 and a bit years. But Ben, being Ben, has stayed motivated academically, or as much as he has been able. Let's hope he gets through these critical resits in January and gets the grades he needs for uni in the summer. Failing this, let's hope the university will be sympathetic to his circumstances and allow a slipped grade or 2. And that's the end of that post. As I said in the last post, if you are wondering whether your son or daughter is ready for university and they are suffering from an eating disorder or hopefully recovering from an eating disorder, you might want to follow these posts over the next few months, because it takes us through our thinking as regards university in the September. Did Ben manage to get to university? Were any concessions made for the fact he might not get the grades that were required? Did he manage to get his AS level results? Did he manage to stay in school? And all these things, we were really worrying about whether he was ready for university or not in September, despite the fact that CAMS were saying that, and I quote here, "I can't see any reason why Ben would not be ready to go to university in September," end of quote. So yeah, follow my posts and we shall see what happened. Thank you for listening. You'll find a link below to my blog, and you'll also find a link to my website where you can download free PDFs of my blog, and also a link to Amazon where you can buy a copy of my book.